grab yourself a beverage and a snack. This is going to be a long video. Hello everyone, I'm Olive Blade and welcome to my Wonderland. So I have over $2,000 worth of Albedo for this video. You thought my Albedo unboxing hauls have just hit an entirely new level, and I hope you enjoy it today. So this is how my current overlord collection is looking. Mighty fine. I also recently got that cheeky small 1/8 scale free version with the body pillow that I just quickly skimmed past, but nevertheless that's for another video. The video at hand, look at all these. Oh, I cannot even describe the excitement of this entire collection. Oh, okay, so alright, let's where do I even begin? So majority of everything I've got looks like from Ami. I got one box from Sugo Toys and then a few things from the Japanese buy proxy service. So well, we have to crack open this big one. I'm sure some of you may be already guessing what's in this one, but let's get the knife, slice it open and have a look, shall we? So this one was very heavy and awkward, but of course it has to be her freeing bunny figure, which I just absolutely died of happiness when I saw this was announced. I think like perfect design in my opinion, and I was scared because I was like, oh, first off, like it's intimidating, like to think of like the amount of price that this would be. This is my most expensive bunny figure, but I hope it's worth it. Oh, look at it! Look at the box. Oh, 10 out of 10 for the box. The bottom is a bit. Cardboard could have been a little bit harder. It kind of dips in a bit, but I think that's just from where the covering bubble plastic is just dipping in a little bit. But as long as she's well protected, that would be lovely. Now then, so let's crack open one of the Ami boxes. Another large one. I initially was going to do the haul and then not include one particular figure, but I ended up picking up this figure I didn't think I would, but we'll see that in a moment. We've got one of their cards, very cute summer one. Look at that! And this is what I was talking about. So this has not the best aesthetical, use that detail word, aesthetical, well, I'll make your word, the stands for this figure, but the other parts of it I just think is very beautiful. So I saw it dipped a lot in price and took my opportunity to pick it up, and we'll see in person if it's worth it. But yes, this was originally a no for me just because the support stand's looking a bit ugly, but I think I still would really love this figure regardless. So I chose to pick her up and we'll see. Next one, we've got another Ami one, another the same card of course. Get a few of those sometimes when they all get released in the same month, which I had that issue a lot last year where everything clumped up and released at the same time, which is, as you know, any collector's an absolute nightmare. Now then, I'm really excited for this one. This looks absolutely gorgeous. It's based off an ending clip and it's the frame with the thorns are just beautifully romantic and just, I don't know, just I'm very excited for that one, and I feel like a crepe every time I look at this picture. But nevertheless, we of course have to get them all out of the boxes and have a look. Oh, adorable. This one has some folders in it too, which is pretty awesome, and I've got a clip. Take it out. A pop-up Ray, which has been out for a while, but yes, I do get her and I'll finally be able to have a look at her. This is my first pop-up parade with the different round base, which I'm a bit confused that they decided to change that completely, but we'll get back into that later. Looking at the folders I picked up, I love that I was able to get these because I missed them on the first run and then they released a second run, and yeah, it's beautiful artwork on plastic, which, you know, anything that can be preserved longer is pretty awesome, and that is my absolute favorite artwork, so I had to pick up that one then. And we have potentially a figure later that I'm excited to check out that is inspired by this, but out of all Albedo artworks, that's probably my favorite. So anyway, so we've got, look at all these boxes. So much to look through. And crack this one open, another Ami, and oh, look at the little penguin suits. Oh, that is so cute. I probably definitely would buy an Amico figure if they did one day. I'm not sure really why. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of, because they do acrylic figures and sell some artwork of a merch. But anyway, we're looking at, sorry, I sped this video up and I can hear Kevin in the background going cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. It's a little bit funny, but I hope that doesn't get too annoying. Now then, checking out this Albedo. The box I guess is okay. The aesthetic wise, it could be a little bit, could have been brought a bit more further. It does, I tell you, the box size is large. The figure, on the other hand, this is meant to be 1/7 scale, and it's looking a bit on the small. But I thought, alright, well, I'll just keep to the side and we'll get to it when we get to it. Now the first buy box, and we've got a few things I've collected specifically for this haul. Let's just crack them open. And oh, I finally got this kimono set, and I got the special edition that came with this life-size fan as well. It's a little bit bent, but hopefully I can flash it a bit more. And of course I had to get the set with Ainz in his bathrobes. I think it's the most gorgeous and hilarious figure ever. So, and Albedo of course looks beautiful, so I had to get the set. Got them for a really good price on Buy, and oh, I can't wait to finally open that because she's been out for years. She's had a re-release. I think this is her first release, but yeah. And of course, you know, I have the Shibuya Scramble full-scale figure of this beautiful edition, but I had to get a little extra. So, this little acrylic, which is absolutely adorable. Now we have another Albedo acrylic, and I love this because I never really saw it, and I saw it popped up. I'm like, oh, I do have to grab this. I love the kind of half work attire and the skirt that's kind of Chanel or David Jones inspired kind of vibe. And I'm like, oh, I've got to pick that up because it's so unusual, but it works. Fashion wise, it kind of works. So yeah, I thought I'd pick that up, being an acrylic that I don't see too often. So of course I had to add it to the collection. Next we have this kimono Albedo, and this short cute kimono prize figure. I was super keen because I absolutely love the top half design of this figure. Her hair in the loose bun and that V off the shoulder top is just, that is probably, I wouldn't say, but I think this may be my favourite Albedo prize figure. It looks just so beautiful. Now I'm cracking open one of these envelopes. Taking it out, very well wrapped. I think this is another acrylic, but let's see. Also, so I don't get it to be repackaged by Buy. These are packaged by the sellers and then they put it all in one box for me. You can pay for extra protection, but usually I haven't had an issue not paying for extra protection. So it really depends if you want to leave up to the risk. But look at the washi tape that they use for this. It's as if they knew I'm an absolute Halloween queen. So just take those off carefully. I might save those. And I got this cute little artwork. And I love that it's on the board too. And look at that with Albedo and Ainz. That is just stunning. Actually, that would make an amazing figure though. I'm probably not too keen to get too many Ainz figures because, especially if it's 1/7 scale, he is quite a large character. But this one, 8th one I'm about to unbox, I just had to pick him up. Now that we've got this small little acrylic, which is beautiful. As you know, I ordered the Hobbylick figures, so that looks very similar to that. So I probably plan to put those two together. Now then we've got another acrylic. I don't know where this came from, but this is official, and it's yeah, it's a little bashful, a little cheeky. I've got her large 1/4 scale bunny, and this is her in a black bunny suit, and I'm just like, okay. I haven't seen this before, so I want to quickly pick that up. So here, just another chance for you to get a beverage. You know I've got some grape juice or another snack. So let's get into cracking these boxes open and having a closer look at my haul. Now then, this is just absolutely incredible. The amount I had. I told you I got behind, and I just had to unbox these. I haven't even shown the new well, I did at the beginning. I haven't even shown the process of me putting that new cabinet in my room. I'm not sure if it's been so long, I'm not sure if I'll get to that. But you'll definitely have an updated view of the entire collection soon. Now, of course, we've got to start big and go into the bunny figure. I chose to unbox this as soon as I got the bunny figure because I just wanted to check, because the last time I got one from Suga Toys, you know how that ended. I didn't have the best experience with Yumiko being technically beheaded, so I wanted to, yes, that's the naughty side, don't look there. I wanted to open her up and make sure she's okay while they still had stock, just on the off chance that I had the same issues last time. So fingers crossed that she's in perfect condition. I'm not having too much luck, am I? Because the one before that was so I had the Yumiko beheaded. The Miku I had last time just had a few quality controls. Like, she's beautiful, but it's, yeah, you don't want to necessarily get a bunny figure with a completely scratch base. Now this has quite the process on it. Look at all the instructions. How carefully cut it open. I can't believe her scale. I'm so excited. I love everything, the design, and I wasn't sure what this is for. It took me a second, but I'm like, oh, so she is actually cast off. Oh, yeah, this is me like, oh, which I didn't buy her for that, and it was very interesting finding out. I think a few of my friends, when they found out, because I was impressed. I'm like, I didn't get this on purpose. Did tease me a little, but that's alright. We're gonna keep her beautiful white bunny suit on, but that is an option, and it does deliver a beautiful sculpt if that's what you're looking for. But I am looking for the cute bunny suit. So carefully take out the hairpiece and put in the other one. I like to keep all the pieces just in the off chance. I might have to pack her up, though. I would never sell this unless, of course, my life depended on it. Look at the shimmer on those ears. Anything pearlescent, I just go crazy over. Pearlescent white is just divine, in my opinion. Anyway, keeping the tape since it perfectly peeled off there. Now just carefully working out how to lift this out. I think they did. Oh, well, I gotta give them 10 out of 10 for the packaging. This is very well done. I was like, okay, maybe I'll just pull it out before I take that off. And so far, she looks all together. This is the moment. I lift her out. Is anything gonna fall off? Fall off now or forever hold your peace. And she's holding together. I couldn't put her straight on the table, so I thought I would put that down. I might have to get her a piece of fabric or something to rest on so she doesn't get marks. They do, if sitting down bunny figures or kneeling, they do get marks whether or not you move them or not. They just do over time. But you don't want anything too thick, because that would also make the hair bend and you won't get that awesome laying flat hair. So this one, I am freaking out because I actually have to take the head off. I know, ironically, this was such a process. I was so scared to do this, and it just popped off, and I took a big deep breath of air, because when you have something that is so secure on this, the last thing you want to do is scratch the hair or anything, because when you bring it up and you need that little bit of force and it just goes, you're like, oh. Anyway, it came off perfectly, and look at that beautiful hair, the amount of color. I wonder if it could stand up. It kind of looks like Cousin It at the moment from the Addams Family. I love all the curls and that. No, it does not stand up. I'm sad to report, but the hair color and paint work on this, thank goodness, is just absolutely divine. And you look at, I really love how they've done with the stockings here and the little clips. I love that they took that as a design aspect. It's beautiful. Be careful of that top leg. It does come off to remove it, so you can remove the bunny suit. It's a little bit loose, so just when you're picking it up, make sure to hold that and the body, because I fear that could potentially fall off if you have it weighted one side too long. So these back pieces actually came out pretty easily, I'm not going to lie, which anyone knows is a good sign for checking out the pegs. So let's have a look at these wings, shall we? I'm so glad that they included wings, because I'm sure all of us will be like, oh, if they're doing an Albedo bunny, I wonder if they're going to use the wings. But yes, they did, and look at the detail. I love it. Each feather looks like it's separated, it's protruding enough, and then close you get all these more separate feathers. It's just, I think they've done it very beautifully. And just for black wings, I love how they've added, it's got almost like its own pearlescent effect too, but it's not. It's very tasteful and it looks not cheaply done. As I was saying about the colours, having a bit more of blues in with the black and even a little addition of purple really brings out the details of the sculpt, which is just beautiful. Anyway, the first one I put in went in pretty well, and the second one needed a little bit more pressure, but they fit seamlessly. Well, of course, a comment that it is a seam between the two pieces, of course, but they fit in so tightly. Very well done. Now then, it is very funny that this head actually, you meant to take it off, and I had such the trauma of my Yumiko figure, but nonetheless, let's try to put this on. This is the second hardest part to this figure, because, well, it went on pretty well, but it's hard for me because I just don't want to damage anything while putting that on. Oh, and anyway, it's on! Hooray! And I love those little gorgeous hair strands. It's so cute. Now then, putting the bunny ears in. Make sure you're trying to put in the right one first, not trying to force it in. And they fit in pretty well. I wasn't sure how they would look with the horns, but they did pretty well, because I think they could have made that look really weird. If that makes sense, because you got these side succubus horns and then you got these bunny ears, but it actually turned out looking, I think they did very well. And her expression is just smug, and I'm just absolutely in love with her eyes. The shape of her sculpt is very, very beautifully curvaceous. I think they've stayed true to the character's assets. And of course her cute little signature little hair flick at the top there. Just beautiful. I am so overwhelmed with how happy I am to have this figure in my collection. And we've got it, they have little support stands, so I'm umming and ahhing if I want to put those in, because they fit in so perfectly. I kind of don't want it to change the shape of it over time, and I guess they're so small that they don't impact it at all, so I will be using the little support stands for that, because it does lift it up a substantial amount. Now then, oh hello little sweetie, how are you going to look at this, look at my goddess queen here. Isn't she beautiful? He's trying to wrap his mind around the instructions and now looks forward. Oh, look at that scale comparison with my cat. So you can see how large this figure is. No. And just showing you the little rod at the back. I wasn't too sure, but I think that is the right feather to put that support on. So I'm just showing you in case you, like me, have the same issue looking at instructions thinking, okay, now which one am I actually putting this on? I just can't get over this face. She is very beautiful. I'm very happy with this figure, I can't tell you. They've done so well, and I was so scared that they would muck it up. So anyway, so let's get into some small, going from the largest, of course, most expensive, to the least expensive things, but nevertheless still awesome to add to my Albedo shrine. So since we went from bunny, let's go from bunny to bunny and check out this other one. Now, if they did do another version of bunny figure and they did this one, like a black suit Albedo, yes, I would probably 100% buy it as well, even though this pose is a bit more, how should I say, not safe work, but it's, yeah. I love it's kind of like how they did Jibril from No Game No Life, the war version and the non-war version. So, oh, imagine if they did this, but they did it with her battle axe. Okay, now I'm just asking for the world, but could you imagine that? So you've got her kind of war version and her beautiful, graceful version as well. That would be incredible. Now this acrylic, I initially thought this was going to be a larger acrylic, but it's very petite. and nevertheless has a very adorable artwork on it, and it was still included in the shrine because you've got that teeny weeny Albedo picture there. So I was a little disappointed this was this tiny, but nevertheless I will still add to the collection, and it's still a cute little piece. So then I've got this acrylic from Ami, and I thought it was just adorable little chibi version. I don't have too many chibi versions of her, and I like how you have the two-piece with the name there. Kind of makes it look like a video game character, and I am just failing to put this in. Get in there. Click. It still doesn't look like it's in, doesn't it? Okay, well, let's get the other piece. And yeah, and I had a bit more trouble. Why am I having such a struggle putting this in? Anyway, there she is. And oh, she is so cute. So, yes, no, I need to add a few more chibi Albedos to the collection, and that one took my fancy, so there we are. Now then, let's move on to the other chibi, which I think this one's a bit more awesome, but this is the special edition acrylic that came with the Shibuya Scramble Albedo swimsuit version, and the figure, well, you can go check out my past unboxing with the figure. She is just absolutely beautiful, divine, just absolutely spectacular, delivered very well. And but of course I didn't get the pre-order bonus, so I had to pick this up, and I saw it up for a few prices. I only wanted to pay a certain amount for it, so I waited until that happened. There is also another pre-order bonus with this, and that was a fabric poster of the artwork, and I wasn't initially going to pick it up, but I might be tempted to pick it up in the future. Now then, this protective plastic is on super hard, so it took me a little bit to take off, because you have to be cautious. Some of them have it, some of them don't, and I have tried scratching at one that didn't have it. It was in my ancient Magnus Bride when I had some of those acrylics, which you probably saw, but that didn't have it, and I did do scratch it actually, and I was very upset. At least it was the base, it wasn't the main thing. But just shows you have to be careful, because you never know when they're going to do that or not. Now then, cracking this open, we've of course got the larger acrylic here, and I absolutely love the skirt on this one. It's very beautiful, and so she looks like she's ready to do her service at work in a bit more of a sort of world setting, which is funny. That's I haven't seen too many. Maybe we might see with more prize figures, even though they just keep doing swimsuit versions of her, which some of them are good, and then others I'm like, I think we've had enough swimsuit for a little bit. Can we mix it up just a little bit, and then you can do some more if you'd like, if I would be a bit too picky. But nevertheless, I think this would make an awesome prize figure. As far as a scale though, I'd probably would want some other Albedo designs made into scales. Like, I think we still need more with her in her armor. That would be amazing, because the only ones I can see is the Acrylic one, which has got a very interesting other face, let's just say, and then the other ones that may be a bit too expensive. So 1/7 scale of that in this sort of price range would be good. But here are all the acrylics I have. This is the bunny with the bunny. So I think this is an awesome acrylic haul. And to think, a few years ago, I said to myself, I will not be that person to get the acrylics. But then the love of your favorite characters wins overall, as we know. So only for those ones I will dedicate a few acrylics to. For now. Now then, let's check out this Corfu prize figure. Corfu, can you please just have the one same size? The Albedo figures done by them just vary in different scale sizes. I know it's non-scale, but it's been bugging me, especially with putting them in the collection, because they range from all sorts of sizes. Anyway, let's have a look at this figure at hand. This has been out for a while, so I've been dying to get my hands on this because it looks like such a cool prize figure, and they did deliver well. Look at that beautiful hair and the grin, and that just off the shoulders short kimono, that is just beautiful in my opinion. colors, even the texture in the dress as well. And you can see some little hints like her wings in there as well. They did have a little bit of a quality control issue on that toe there at the front, which is a little annoying, but I think I can forgive it considering the price of this figure, which was, you know, for pretty affordable, which is lovely. And for the prize figure and Caulfield be on the slightly larger side of the Caulfield, I really love this prize figure, and I hope they make more ones like this because it's pretty amazing. Anyway, I'm zooming up here. Can you see all the little intricate details of the spider web, her wings, and the cherry blossoms? And then of course we have to zoom up on her face. I think they did very well with this. Obviously prize figure doesn't look as soft as the picture that they took, but I'm sure in the right lighting you can get a similar effect. I think this is beautiful. Would love personally a little bit more blush on her flesh at the top, but considering the price, you know, that would be asking too much. So for the moment though, I think it's a very awesome prize figure. But let's get into this pop-up parade. Of course, show you off the box. Never been a fan of the pop-up parade boxes because they look like football teams, color, you know, with the colors like that, I swear. So yeah, not too fun on those, but as long as it protects the figure overall, I will not complain. So I don't know why they decided to change to the round bases. Maybe, I'm sure they've probably got some sort of statement about it I haven't found or read, but I think, and to think that they changed it and they still didn't do exactly what everyone wanted. I think having the frosted over base does make it look a bit more cheaper, even though it does protect it more from scratches. I personally would have made it like a clear base, like what they do in their promotional pictures of the prototypes, because even though that may scratch a little bit, I think that will make it just look, for the quality figure this is, for me, these figures range from, like, with postage, it takes, you know, $60 to $70 to get one of these here. It's, I think this one was 50 or 40 something on Ami. But for that type of in-between price, and I'm just looking here, a little bit of, what is that, hair glue? At least it didn't damage the figure, but that's a little bit of fluff. And it has, this is not your fluff, Snowy, I can't blame you for this one. But yes, for the price range, you think they could do something a bit more exciting for the base, or even like a little textured gravel thing. So they change the base and they do that. Anyway, let's get into the figure. I don't know why they did that. So the figure herself though is beautifully detailed. This is your, nothing wrong with generic, but this is your like neutral generic Albedo. Just right, looks like she jumped directly out of the anime accurately. And they have done a beautiful job with that. Her dress, her shoes, everything's seamless. The hair is stunning. It's so beautiful. But I guess it's good that they got some coming out the side so you can enjoy it, because that's the dilemma, as you know from my pre-order video, that I'm having at the moment with not seeing enough hair from the sides. You get this beautiful hair and you can't see it all the time. And I just love the little frills, how they're just shaped around the bottom of the skirt, giving it a bit more movement in her graceful pose. The wings are beautiful. For Pop-Up Parade, I think they've done very well with this one, and I cannot wait for the second version to come out this year. Especially since it's similar, but it's different at the same time with its very cute bashful pose. Now let's have a look at this fan. I'm leaving the plastic on for now, but at least you can see the design pretty well. I think that's pretty awesome. If I ever decide to do an Albedo cosplay of this, which, you know, now I'm thinking of that would be very fun. So I'm gonna put that in the books, even though of course I want to do original Albedo, or even armor Albedo would be epic. Now then, getting to the thing at hand, which is these beautiful figures. I've been wanting to get these for such a long time. Why have I held out off while I guess paying for pre-orders? But I finally managed to pick them up, and with the official fan as well. So let's have a look. Let's have a break from Albedo for just a slight second and have a look at her. Well, she is the partner in crime to this great spunk, and I'm gonna check out Ainz Ooal. And I'm very excited for this figure because it's just so hilarious in my opinion. Hello, my dear. Don't you worry now. We're gonna get you out of this box. Don't you worry. I get the sharp sword out and let's cut him out. Smart decision. As much as I want to get the figure out first, gotta get the base out because then then you have something to put it on. I'm not a big fan of bringing out the figure first and put it on the side if the box is the shape that I have to do that with. Oh yeah, there's the authenticity on the back. Then I will do that. But otherwise, the base first out always. Now then, having a look at his little accessory, and you've got this towel which looks like it's defying gravity a little bit, but I guess if the wind was blowing, yes it could. It's very cute, this little bucket with the soap and the towel. The colour on this is very nicely done, so I thought I had to show you, and the sculpt too. It's perfectly highlighted the details and made it not just look like a piece of plastic, and that's very important because wooden pieces well, supposedly it's meant to be a wooden piece, an object that goes with the figure. And some of the issues with there's this Miku figure that's come out with this beautiful, the cage Miku, the chair on that figure does not look like a good representation of wood with painted, but this one's been painted beautifully where it does look as close to wood as it can get, and I think they've done well. Now let's have a look at your face, you gorgeous spunk. And for a skeleton, it's very much detailed. The seams are hidden so well. Look at that. So here's a 1/8 scale, which putting next to my 1/7 is probably a lot tinier, but nevertheless, it's probably good because I'm running out of space. But look at his eyes. Oh, look at that grin. Enough to steal your soul. And even his hand in the kimono here is beautifully detailed, and he's got his soul gem and all his rings, even the hand in his shirt, he's got rings on there. They did not spare any detail. There's so much detail in this. And of course his little Birkenstocks, well that's what I feel like saying, but no, his Japanese sandals are just adorable. Okay, there's a little bit of white paint that got in between his toes there, so there's a little bit of paint quality control, but otherwise look at these sandals. They're so funny and cute. I love them so much. His kimono is it's a weird type of plastic. It's soft and a little bit, it's not sticky but tacky, so it's a weird material. I hope it's nothing sticks to it, but that is that. I love this figure. I think I picked up this set with this special edition for 350 AUD dollars, which I think is definitely worth it. The Albedo, I'm not sure about the Ainz Ooal. Okay, here, just checking, he was wobbling a little bit there. Please don't break off your little skeleton legs. But I saw the Albedo, she's going for, the cheapest I've seen her is $90 brand new. And anyway, let's talk here, let's crack her open, but just adoring Ainz Ooal here. I wonder if they did re-release, but I'm sure you still might be able to find them for an okay price in the aftermarket. They kind of went up price before the re-release. Now the re-release, of course, they've gone down in price. But I haven't checked him recently. But I know Albedo you can now get for a really good price. And let's see if that is worth it. I am excited. I've paid, well, when you split it, like just over, because this was including postage. Yeah, so just over $150 for them both. And but that was a special edition with the fan. Okay, it's a plastic fan, but I still wanted it. Okay, I still wanted it. So this one's a bit more complicated because she has her beautiful wings, of course. So let's get those out first. And ooh, look at that pearlescent shimmer. It's a bit more party-like, isn't it? But I am absolutely loving it. It looks almost like liquid ink, doesn't it? I'm all for that. So we get out the base. The base is looks a little scratch there. Not too bad though. Nothing could be as bad as that Miku one from 2 weeks ago. But getting out her little fan to compare with the last one. I actually had to cut it open. But just wait. Look. Scale comparison. Oh, it's so cute. And I've got one too. Yay. Now let's look at the figure at hand. I've been wanting you for years, sweetie, so let's have a look. Oh, look at the bow at the back. I completely forgot the detail at the back of her. Look. Oh, okay. Let's take off these plastic pieces very carefully. I love the design of the kimono. You got the purple, a little bit of like red, almost blood. Oh, I just cannot get over this beautiful ponytail and the two ribbons. The ribbon on her back is, I don't know why I didn't, it was so beautiful. Maybe I've just seen too many front pictures of this character that I couldn't. And you've got like Ainz Summer's face that is carefully worked in there as well. I love that kind of Easter egg. And a little skull there too. Of course, she's any abundance of showing her love for Ainz Summer. It's all there. And with the spider webs, of course, her classic spider webs. And her face is just so soft and graceful. And that little curl at the front, I haven't even put it together. And this figure, to think that I could have got her $90 now, but it doesn't matter. She's worth more than that. But if you see this figure for cheap and you love Albedo, please pick her up. You can get her for a good price now, and she is and the quality control on this as well. Like, the only thing on the Ainz Summer one was the little bit of white paint in between the toes, but this one so far is just looking just seamless and just beautifully finished, no problems at all. And the wings go on like so. It's a bit sad to hide that bow, but of course I have to put on her beautiful wings. Of course, she loses points with the base. The base is it's very large. I think that's just to compensate for the wings, because that would look a little bit weird. Probably a balance aspect too. Whoops. Got her. There we go. Got her on there. That was a bit awkward, but don't worry, don't fret. And even though it hides her face a little bit, we're gonna, of course, add her little fan in here. Has a little peg, so just take your time and be careful with that. It's always hard because her hands closed. There's no really good position to put in, but I managed to just rest it in right, and you put her little fringe curl over the top, and look at that. She looks so cheeky and sweet. Waiting for the right moment to get this figure was absolutely worth it. She is so beautiful. But I was like, oh, how have I not gotten her sooner? Anyway, this was the perfect opportunity, and she's just stunning. But look at this. I still have so much to unbox. So grab yourself another beverage, and let's get back into this. Let's get into the next one. And this is the Albedo China dress version. Now then, I do love this figure design. It's a bit more on like a kind of a mythic feel, and her face is probably the least Albedo I've seen, but I still love the design that they've done for this character so much, because it's a bit more, I'm not sure what to say, petite, but it still has enough Albedo in there that I just felt compelled to get this piece. This one also, I didn't initially know, but she has real tights as well, and you know me, a sucker for real tights, so I wanted to get that too. She's got these beautiful black bows on there as well. Now, the box design on this was beautifully done with the pictures and then the little accents and the purple in there as well, so I've got to give them a lot of credit for that. And they managed to have a window, which is, for newer figures, is getting a bit more rarer, even though a few of these actually all have windows, so I've got to give them credit for that. Now then, this is quite the layering. I didn't think this was this big actually, but looking at the listing now, it is listed as a 1/7. So, okay, so this is actually quite small for a 1/7 then, but it must be all the pieces is giving it a bit more of a epic larger stance. So, but yeah, this size feels a bit more like an 8.5, so that's a little bit disappointing, but let's see if she makes up with it with all the details. But this figure felt so unique. I love the design. Of course, we've got those rods, which we've seen so many pictures of that I'm hoping, I've seen some display it without the supports, but we'll see. I'll let you know my opinions on whether or not they should be needed. But until then, we need to get this beautiful girl out of the box. And we're taking out this awesome, look at this cool spear. It does not want to come out at all. Come on. Okay, I managed, so I didn't have to cut the second piece of tape. And okay, this is, yeah, Look at this. This is really cool. Okay, okay, you can stop now. So the details in this are quite beautiful, and I love that they've given her a large spear-like weapon because she's known for a large, awesome axe. So it's befitting of her, especially with her China dress version. And you get these little flowers that are painted on the end too with the gradient. Very beautifully done. So it's a first little plus. The base is quite weighted, and the packaging they've done is very well. I think the size of the box is appropriate with the amount of pieces that you've got for this figure, and especially with the hair at the back being protruding out a little bit. So it's not, I think the size is adequate for this, even though it is, I wouldn't say a 1/7 scale. Now just getting this out, finally unwrapped it, and okay, this is pretty awesome. This base with the pillar too, the broken pillar, and you got this swirl. So I did have one idea, I'm not sure. I think it would have been cooler if they used the waves to be the stands for the wings. So it had larger swirling bits of wave that they could have worked into the design. I don't know if that's possible, but that's what I thought. If I was to fix this figure, if I could have done that, then that's probably what I would have done. Oh, and just checking, these are definitely real tights. They look very beautiful. And oh, so we better get her out. She's got all these delicate ribbons and pieces and bows, and of course the hair as well. So I do not want to break this at all. I feel like anyone packing anime figures would have one of the hardest jobs, because it would be such a headache not to, like, you just have to be very intricate, and you don't want it to be damaged. Once it's in the box, it's great, but that would be very hard, I think. But and of course they have got a really good process of doing this, which I'm sure at this stage they probably would. But look at these beautiful bow tights. You've got the black one, and it kind of indents on her thigh there. I just thought it was a beautiful touch. And then the tights go through her shoes. I do not know how they've put all these intricate pieces together so well. The seams are hidden very well as well, very clean. And you get her face here too. I think it's because her cheeks kind of go in a little bit. She has a bit of a more of a wider face, and I think this one makes her look a bit more skinnier than she usually is. Otherwise her eyes are definitely Albedo-esque. And those pop out pretty easily. This kind of mesh that it's kind of trying to represent, they've done a very good job painting it, though it would have been really cool, I think, if they used a real kind of tight fabric there, since they did it for the tights. I'm not sure if they couldn't get it fitting over the breast as probably clean as the design is, so maybe that's probably why they didn't do it. But that would have been cool for the idea. Now that piece was pretty tight in there, but got that out, and she is looking very beautiful. Like I said, the design just won overall and made me weaken to get this, and so far, look, oh, the hair as well, and you've got that cool anime shine mark at the back. The details on this are very beautiful, so they've put a lot of work into this design. Well, like anything, but still, it's a unique Albedo, and I can't believe I wasn't gonna get it. But so far, I'm glad I picked this up for the cheaper price that it was. Now then, take off the pegs, and we should get to putting her wings on. She is very light. Like, very, very light, lighter than I thought. So hopefully that is good. If the wings are light as well, then we should be pretty good as far as not using the supports. But I just absolutely in all of these details, so I just keep zooming up. I'm sorry, I'm so distracted. Just look at the details. And the gold and white too. I think probably one of the best China dress Albedo designs I've seen thus far. Now then, trying to get a foot in the base here was a bit of a pain, but let me show you as best as I can, trying to get it in. I'm just tightly, I grabbed it. My process is just a little bit of shuffle from side to side and put pressure on the heel or a part of the figure that is not going to break. Closer you are, probably the better, so that's why I'm doing it right on the toe there. But I need some more pressure, so I'll put this on the table. Let's see. Come on, click in. So so easy to get impatient, but I just take breath, take my time when I get to one of these sort of things. See my hands there, I got a bit like wise and just going, yeah, come on. But you just have to be patient because, yeah, at least when you unboxing a figure, you're gonna have it out for a while, so you're not gonna have to take this off. I'm gonna hate taking this figure out of the foot peg, so pray I never have to do that. Now then, putting on the wings. It suggested putting her on the base before I attach the wings in the instructions, so that's what I'm following. Now if I can put these wings on without breaking the ribbons, that would be really good too. So far it's pretty sturdy, and it doesn't feel like it's gonna fragilely break off those ribbons. They've got a little bit of bend to them, which is thank goodness, but it's still being very wary because that would be an absolutely pain to glue back on. So we've got one wing on, looking beautiful. These wings have a little bit of glitter on them. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, it's a different kind of glitter, but it still works. It's not too much and it's not too little. So again, talking about the cage, the cage Miku that released recently, it's a beautiful figure, but apart from the chair that the wood isn't painted properly, she has on her fabric dress, just like, it looks like almost Barbie glitter. It just ruined it for the fig for me. So I'm very wary about the kind of glitter feel, and this is, it's bordering the not too fond of side, but it's still fine. Like, it doesn't ruin it for me, which is good. So, it's different to like pearlescent paint. So this I just clipped off. Anyway, getting back to this beautiful figure though. As you can see, the wings are so weighted that now that I'm trying to attach the weapon, she is wobbling quite a bit, which is not good for our plan of not having her without the supports. Now, getting the spear in was a little bit tricky to work out where it goes through the wing, but I eventually got there. The end was pretty hard to unclip, but I got there. So after looking at the instructions and just working it through a little bit, praying to the paint transfer gods not to do so, yeah, lining her up. I think that's in good view of the picture. It's great when you have boxes that have reference pictures on the side, so because I mean, it does give a good representation of the figure, but when you're putting it together you can actually reference it, which is good. There are instructions, but black and white ones make it a bit more difficult to tell sometimes. So then I did bring out these supports, which was an absolute horror of when the prototype with the supports came out. I think there's less, I'm not too sure, but I think there's always two main ones, and just finding the right spot to put it up. So I'm unfortunately going to have to put them in. The wings over time will kind of lean, and I won't lie, my lovely Brisbane friend always shows me pictures of them going into anime stores, and vice versa, I do the same. And they went to had this Albedo with not her stand on, and the wings were fine, but the whole where she's leaning forward here, she was leaning even more forward. So I think with the humidity up there and the time, that this figure will bend. So it's definitely confirmed. So with all of the evidence, I'm gonna have these supports on. So I thought about, what if I change them to clear ones, though even that this one is probably more stronger with metal. It doesn't ruin it completely for me. Of course it does add something that I don't want there, and I think they could have worked with the waves to do something a bit more cool. Could you imagine if it just works into the side? But for the moment, despite that, for the price I picked this figure up, I'm very happy with it, I have to admit. I knew what I was going into as far as having to put the rods on, but overall I think this figure makes up for it. She is very beautiful. The details in this, the base, the dynamic pose, just refreshing, almost like a fresh glass of water, sea breeze. So with that being said, I do not regret picking this up, and I absolutely love it. So last minute pickup, and yeah, no, I could not recommend her more. Obviously if the support pegs annoy you too much, maybe not get her, but if they won't, she's still a beautiful China dress version of Albedo that I highly recommend. Now let's get into this next Albedo, and I just absolutely adore this design. I Yep, so for this, when I saw the prototype, I'm like, this is going to be incredible. So this is the Overlord Albedo 1/7 ending version by Spiritual Wing. And Spiritual Wing so far has been absolutely killing it with beautiful figures. I love the clear boxes design with this. It's just, they're doing so well, so I'm just got to give them heaps of credit. And that they package this very well, even with the soft box. And look at the background as well. It looks like this frame could sit on Ainz Summer's desk. Now then, look at the instructions. I love that they included them, even though it's basically so easy. I feel like we've got more complicated figures that haven't come with instructions. Now, I'm excited to see the quality control in this, because this is just such a... I don't know what to say. It's just the grace and poetic beauty of this figure is just so overwhelming for me. I think actually it was so funny when I did pre-order this. I do show my Mother Blade, all my pre-orders, and I did show her, and she's like, oh, it looks like she's entangled for the love she has for Ainz. It's Ainz, right? I'm like, yes, for Ainz. And so I think that perfectly describes this. I just hold her up. So she's a beautiful size. I think she's definitely 1/7, and look at all the intricate details and her face. It's just, it's so gentle and beautiful. Her wings are, look how textured they are as well. Her hair is beautifully sprayed around. She's three-dimensional, like she is flat, but she's still got curve on her, so they did give you the whole figure and did no cuts with blocking that off like weirdly, so it's a bit more realistic, which I love that addition to detail. So even though it's hard for me to appreciate because she's going to be stuck on the base all the time, it still ensures while looking at the side that you get a seamless full figure feel. Taking out the frame, I wasn't sure if they're going to make it adjustable, but it looks like you can only have it at 1 degree, which is good. It makes it easy. I have the Miku Welder's Mine frame figure, and that one's a bit adjustable, which is it's a good thing, but it's also makes the joint a little bit weaker, and I've had her slide a little before, which is concerning. I wouldn't want that with this figure. And look at the base. I love the inspiration they took from her dress design. This is legit her dress if it was a frame, and then they added some purple accents in to give it a bit more color too, and the rose petals as well. And then you've got her gem at the top, and they've made it done so beautifully. The paint, that metallic gold is just hitting that perfect spot. And of course you got the outline of her breast one looks a bit funny there, and they've given it like a really cool cork feeling on the back as well, which it feels a bit more, looks a bit more like gravel instead of cork, just because they haven't added some lighter colors in there. But you know, I'm not too concerned with that, but I still love the touch, and they've put on the brand there. It almost looks like a type of frame you would buy, and that should just click in like so. Dead easy. This is probably going to be the easiest figure of Albedo I've put together today, even with the prize figure, which is hilarious in my opinion. And she should just magnetize on, hopefully. There we go. Easy as. And I love how they've made her hair also go off the sides a little bit of the frame, so it's just edging off, it doesn't make her confined to this square space. But this figure is just, it's beautiful. I think she's gonna have to be one of my new favorites. Well, I mean, I think she is. She's beautiful. The shape of her wings, and how she's kind of covering herself protectively, but just nonchalant lying on the bed. It's just ultimately breathtaking, and I just absolutely live for these kind of just stunning figures. She's just stunning. And the flow of the thorn too, how it touches her ankle, wraps around, and then goes up her body, and the different lengths. I could look at it all day, I really could. So, but this video is long enough as it already is. We gotta unbox, of course, this one, and this I had to leave to last because the hype I have for this figure is unmeasurable. As I told you at the beginning, it is based off my absolute favorite artwork of Albedo, and when they released this, it kind of just came out of the blue and it got released very quickly, so I do have my concerns, but nonetheless, from what I've seen, it looks really awesome. So let's have a look, shall we? Now this was not as awesome for Wallet Coon. This was very expensive and not sure. I really hope it's worth it. Looking at the box, I get if it's trying to replicate the back, but I think it would have been really cool if they worked a bit more with the liquid kind of ink water that's dripping off her hands a bit, and also the shapes, which makes it feels like she's in the Animus. I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, so hopefully you get that reference, but it feels like she is kind of in that Animus feel. And the box inside too is just, okay, so box design, I wouldn't give it much credit, but that doesn't matter if the figure's absolutely brilliant. But accidentally bent that there. Let's get out the instructions and have a look. Now, she is a lot on the smaller side. She is meant to be a 1/7 scale figure. So hopefully her details, like the previous one I unboxed, the Challenger's version that was a bit smaller, which I definitely think her details and everything made up for the lack of size. So hopefully this one does too, because with the price point I would expect it to be a bit more. The other one was more reasonable price, makes it more forgiving, but this one was very pricey, so I'm gonna hopefully that makes up for that, because yes, so already a few little red flags, but let's unbox her. Now I love the whole thing I love about this is the awesome dripping water effect, so I really hope they've done that well. I'm glad to see the base is separate, so you can have the piece separated, which is cool. Now let's have a look at the wing. They've kind of given it like a green swampy kind of feel, which I guess the artwork does have a bit more of a grey scale feel to it, so maybe that's the kind of vibe they're going for. So I think the shading that is done very creatively and quite beautiful. So yeah, it's definitely a different sort of feel, but it definitely works. Just bringing out the other wing, and they're beautifully sculpted as well. Bit more in alignment, but that makes sense with the flow of the piece. So I'm keen to see what they look like put all together. But yes, definitely a bit more in alignment, but I do like how they're sticking out a little bit too, to give it a bit more of a three-dimensional feel. So yeah, let's put that to the side and get the next pieces out. Again, we've got bubble seal of cake here, cutting down the layers, working layer by layer. I should refer to it as cake more often, I feel. So, peeling that off, and we'll have a look. Even though I won't be using the base, let's have a look at it, shall we? This reminds me very much the Ainz Summer base for his 1/7 scale, which I have, as you probably remember. And the base is actually, okay, so it is attached on here. But, oh, it does come off though. Look at that. Oh, that's cool. Right, well, it looks quite tiny, I won't lie, now that it's like a little blob. So I was thinking here, should I have it with this base or not? Nah, maybe I'll try with first and then change if I'm not too fond. See, I don't know why. I think aesthetic appeal that they've got the curve at the front. Is it so the wings rest okay there too? Maybe the wings won't rest flush with the ground if I don't have that bottom layer on, but we'll see. The only reason with the Ainz Summer that I had it at the front is because you actually fit the Albedo 1/7 table kind of piece in there too. So we've got a few of these little, and getting back to this figure though, so there's no reason it should have that little arch to the front, because it's kind of like, okay, we're giving you this space, but we kind of want to hide it too, so what's the point? I don't know why they didn't do a complete ink one, but anyway, that's alright. I saw the prototype of this, so moving on. But I'm glad you can at least take it off, so hopefully the wings do fit flush. Taking the beautiful Albedo out herself, and she has a pleasant feel on her too. Though holding in my hand, she feels like a 1/8. I feel like the other one feels a bit, the other one, the Challenger's version feels like, I said, like a 8.5. This feels like an 8. But let's have a look. The hair detail on this is very, very beautiful. A lot's hidden at the back, but we've got a few pieces on the side, which is lovely. Not taking off all the pieces. I love the pearlescent that they feel that they have on the dress, because it kind of gives you that kind of water feeling, I guess, drenched maybe, which adds to the feel. Her hair strands are wanting to stick a bit more together in the middle. Well, a lot more than a bit. They're meant to be going down the side of her chest. Hopefully I can bend them a little bit. The face looks like the prototype pretty good. Not much to write home about. So the hair is beautiful. I love they got the matching green on it as well. So let's have a look at that. The skirt too. She does feel really like a small figure though. So, but yeah, no. And I'll just try to let's see if I can just bend them a little bit though. They're not wanting to go to the sides at all. So they should go like that one. Should at least go like that one. So I'm just trying to hold them there. So it should look like this, which is really cool because then you make the most out of the flowing of that. So she does take a part here. So let me just gently do that. Don't want to scratch anything. But the quality control on her paintwork is very beautiful. So they've done that very well. Whoop. Yep. I knocked the camera there. Forgot about that. But yeah, that is tightly on. Yes. But you have to take it off, unfortunately, so you can add the wing. So there's no way around it. I like that how her dress tightly fits her body. And then you've got the fabric folds there as well. So hopefully the wings go in a bit more easily than it took to take off her top piece, and they fit in pretty well. So it's so weird to see her with green wings, but aesthetic wise it does work. So let's put it all together. And I also wish they had a bit more pieces of the kind of what I'm calling the animus shards, just to bring together that feel, but the background of the artwork. But I mean, it still looks beautiful what they've done. But so anyway, trying to put her top on. The bow is connected to the top piece too, which is I was just trying to make sure not to break that either. But I got her on, and here she is all together. She's definitely a beautiful petite figure. Now, the moment of truth. Bringing out these little liquid pieces. I feel like they could have gone a bit more darker on the colour for some parts of this to give it a bit more, but that's alright. So, now, let's work out how we're going to put this together. So, I actually put away the base first. So, hopefully I don't need to bring that back out. Fingers crossed. They did show that they could have it with the wings, just without the little base, and I already dropped a piece on. So you have to kind of slide these on the hands first, and then maybe, I haven't checked, but maybe there's a little like hole that I can peg the bottom of these pieces on so they don't sway. But then that doesn't matter if they fit pretty well in. So on the majority of the prototypes they fit well in, but as you can hear my voice a little bit, that's not what happened. So working out how to put these on, but these are wobbly as they're not long enough to fit in the base flushly at all. So I'm very disappointed in this figure a little bit. I was excited for the water effects, and the piece doesn't fit in well. Like, I'm trying to work out the best way of working this out. I don't think heat could even fix this, just because the shape of the mold of it as well. So I'll try to get in some close-ups, but yeah, it does ruin it a little bit for me. I'm glad that the base, you can have the wings, see they fit flushly, and the paint job's done beautifully, but the whole idea of the liquid thing is just maybe this is my version. I really hope if you did get this that you don't have it, but you can see even from the front that it doesn't work flushly. But I'm just giving you a 360 here, but it should be going backwards a bit. It even looks like the base is not big enough. They didn't really think about the yeah, so I think for this to get the awesome effect that I was hoping it to have, these pieces would need to fit in, and they just don't. So I'm probably gonna have to look into making my own pieces, because I do really want to keep the figure, but it's disappointing because I definitely don't think it's worth the price with this issue and the scale size as well. So that's a bit sad to end that on, but regardless, there's still aspects of it that I love, so I'll still keep it, but it's definitely not worth the price in my opinion. I'm sorry, that's just it. Anyway, this can happen. Let's move on to a showcase so I can show you more in detail all these beautiful figures and merch items. What an absolute overload of detail. Oh my goodness, the amount of beautiful pieces we have here. We won't talk about the middle one, but everything is just, I guess, overload of overlord. Hopefully not too much, but I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I am so thrilled I could finally unbox these beautiful pieces of a character so dear to my heart. This is just divine. And of course we've got Ainz Ooal there, the little 5% of not Albedo. She can't steal the complete show, but she at least has my heart. Obviously. I did laugh at someone did comment on my video last week. I think she likes Albedo, and I'm like, yeah, no, I think I like it too. But that definitely gave me a big grin. It was pretty funny. But truly, we have some amazing pieces of art here, and I hope I could show you all the intricacies and all the details and help you decide if you want them for yourself as well, or you just enjoyed watching it too. Oh, I still think this Albedo freeing buddy figure still steals the show. It's so nice to finally have a 1/4 scale of this waifu. But that's everything for this week. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. Until next time, stay safe, treat yourself, and I'll see you then. Bye!